Hi everyone, it's Sal Jade from How to Be Psychic, and I'm joining you here today live for our monthly March Q&A. So for those of you who weren't here last month or who missed it, I'm trying to do once a month live in the group to answer all your questions about the course. And the reason I wanted to do that this year, because I could see that I really needed to be able to support you guys on another level in your psychic development. And so I wanted you to be able to have a bit more access to me, but also I can see that not everybody goes in and checks the Q&A board in your Udemy course and all the discussion boards. And so there's a lot of incredible questions that people ask as they're doing the course. And because when I get to answer them, I get to share everything I know, then I could see that people were missing it. So what I wanted to do was to come to you live once a month and answer any questions you've got, as well as being able to answer some of the 3 questions that I pick every month from the live Q&A. Hello, Christy. You're loving the course? Awesome. Thank you. So what I'm going to do before I begin, I just want to say a huge loving thank you to Anne McDougall, Joanna Shepherd, and the lovely Blessed Stoker, who wrote some amazing reviews this week for How to Be Psychic. And I really appreciate it when people take the time from the course to actually write a few comments about what they got out of the course. And I know it's easy to click on the stars, but if you write a few comments, that just means so much as well, because it just means that other students can make that decision if that's going to be the right course for them. And it just means that I get to see what I'm doing right for you guys and what's working, and I can give you more of it. So thank you to everyone who's done that. I really, really appreciate it. And to you 3 ladies, thank you. So I'm going to get started. Hello, Brandy. Hello, Maureen. Hello, Maria. So I'm going to ask, now these are questions that I've been asked before, so that's why I'm always excited to pull them out of the treasure box to answer them for you. So Malvika asks this question: if we are channeling someone else's guardian angel and we don't disconnect, what does this mean? Like, what can happen? Now, first of all, you don't have to feel frightened. It's not something that you have to be anxious about. And in my course, that's the next level up from this one, which is called Psychic Readings Intermediate Level, I go into a lot more about disconnecting after doing a healing session or after doing a reading. So if you want to get really deep into it, you can have a look more on that. But I'll give you some of my best tips now as well. So for me, all it means is that you are just separating your energy energetically from that person, so that you've done the healing or you've done the reading and you've channeled through the information, and now you no longer need to be connected to that person. And so what often happens if you're not disconnecting is you can often start thinking about that person, and so your relationship with them karmically and the contract you've entered into as their reader and their healer continues on. And what you want to do when you finish a session or a reading with someone is you need to cut that contract now and say, okay, now I've given you this, you need to go off into the world and act on it. And whereas if you're still connected to them, then your energy can still be fueling and feeding them, and they actually need to go off and do it on their own. So I hope that makes sense. And as I said, in the Psychic Readings Intermediate Level, I go into a lot more about how to disconnect, but a really quick way is just to imagine that a waterfall of light's coming down off you and washing that person's energy off you, and then just doing a big cut, or clap 3 times, and then you can even say disconnect. And obviously you don't do that in front of them. So wait till they're gone, and then you do it. And if you find yourself still thinking about them and then feeling like, oh, I've got more to say to them and I can't stop feeling this way, maybe they were feeling angry and now you're feeling angry, then just do it again. Like, just keep going in and do it again, and ask your angels to stay with you for boundaries. So I hope that's helped Malvika in just being able to just learning how to disconnect. And as I said, it's not an awful thing. Bad things won't happen. It's just that you don't want to empathically be continually picking up on what they're going through once you've finished reading or healing them. Now, Sonia, now this is a really common one, and I love this question, asks, okay, I met the guardian angel. So she went in and did the guardian angel meditation that's with your course, and they didn't have any messages for me, but they did answer one of my questions, and only one of them. And then she goes on to say, and on the first time I did it, I got Azrael come in, and the next time I got Uriel, and now I'm a bit confused. Now, the first thing I'll say is that meditation, while it says about meeting your guardian angels, it's also about, you know, connecting with any angel. So it might not be the time right now for you to start talking to your guardians. It might actually just be whoever's working with you right now. So when I tune into people, for example, at the beginning of a reading or a session, I actually say to them beforehand, okay, I'm just going to see who's with you right now, because they can be with you for 10 minutes, they can be with you for 7 lifetimes. Who's with you? Who's the loudest voice coming through? Who needs you to know their wisdom and their spiritual awakenings the most, and who needs to support you the most? So for her, for Sonia, it just means that Archangel Uriel came in because the lessons of Archangel Uriel were needed with her right then, and that Azrael came in because she was with her right then too. And in terms of not giving any messages, that's okay. And again, please don't worry if straight away you don't get this 3D incredible experience where the angels are downloading all this information. It's about taking it very slowly and just seeing what comes in. And you might only get a flash or a fraction or just a word. That's still connection. And so please don't freak out if your experience doesn't seem like this incredible opening or awakening, because it doesn't always happen. In fact, it rarely happens for people that have never done this before, that they go in and suddenly it's like it's a revelation and it's something out of a Hollywood movie. It can take time to keep practicing it. So please don't freak if you haven't gotten any really understandable messages. And the fact that she got one message, that, you know, one answer to a question, that's phenomenal. That's huge. So take that really lightly. And I often find, and I'm not saying this happened with Sonia, but I often find the people that find it the hardest to connect or the hardest to get messages are the ones who are big perfectionists and who are trying too hard, and that have worries that they're going to get it wrong or they're doing it wrong. That can often interfere with the process. So just allow whatever comes in to be and go, okay, so I got this out of it, always write it down, and then next time come back and try again and see what else you get. Like, it's an incremental process. Hello, Nikki. Hi, Courtney. I've got the best energy. Thank you. Thank you, lovely. So, and, you know, so don't feel worried if that angel experience isn't for everyone. And look, I'll be very honest with you and very transparent. That angel meditation doesn't work for everybody. Like, it works for me. In my experience, I feel like it's worked for maybe 70 to 80% of the people that I've taught. But sometimes some people have got a lot of other stuff going on. Like, I remember one lovely lady told me she had her baby in the next room. And so obviously that made it energetically very difficult for her to connect, because she was, you know, worried and anxious about the baby. And even me, with all my quadrillion years of experience of doing this, if I'm in the house and I'm trying to connect with my guides and angels and I can hear my husband stomping around upstairs, I can find it very difficult to go into my zone sometimes. So, you know, just be aware and conscious of what's going on in your life. Are you stressed or are you exhausted? Are people in the house? Are you worried about being, you know, someone walking in and interrupting you? And just be a little bit conscious about that too when you go in. Hi, Julie. So, and also, if you're finding that meditation's not working for you, if you've tried it 2 or 3 times, you're alone in the house, you're not that stressed, then just move straight to your oracle cards and start trying to get message through the cards, because they are often a bit easier to communicate with and connect with. Now, the third question, and this actually applies to the guardian angel question, like of this meditation. Also, for those of you who have done my course, Remove Psychic Blocks with Past Life Therapy. So this is a course that I teach on Udemy, where I get you to go into your past lives and remove any vows or shackles or bindings that you've made not to use your healing powers or your gifts in this lifetime, or any contracts that you've got karmically with people that keep showing up in your life and preventing you from stepping fully into what you want to manifest in your life. And so, and people often ask me about the past life regression. There's a past life regression that I use with my clients in there that I teach you, and it removes those lifetimes and those vows so that you can feel more comfortable using your psychic abilities. And people often say to me, well, I did it and it was great and I feel really good. Like, I feel like I cleared this, you know, this binding with my father. Now I know why I find it so hard to follow my career. And then they go, well, when, you know, how often should I do it? Because they get excited, and I understand that, and they want to go in and do more. So what I would say about that and the guardian angel meditation of this course is, I would wait at least 7 days if not 2 weeks before doing it again. And the reason that is because the meditations that I've designed for you are healing meditations. Like, they're meant to heal your soul, and they're meant to open you up. And the soul has its own beautiful journey, and you don't want to rush the soul by putting ego in. So ego comes in and goes, right, we're onto a good thing. I want to clear this, and this now. And it's like, okay, the soul might only be ready to clear one thing. The soul might only be ready to clear your relationship with your father. It might only be ready to clear your relationship with money and why you can't attract enough business to your psychic reading business. And so if you're trying to do too much, soul just gets overwhelmed. And then ego starts going, well, this doesn't work. This isn't good. We don't want to do this. And so please allow soul some space between your meditations and your regressions, because you want to, and also the reading it's the same as when you're getting a reading from someone. Like, you don't want to be jumping in and getting a reading from someone every day or every week even. You want to allow what spirit has connected and given you to be processed. You want to go off and take that advice and implement it in your life. But if you're jumping back in to get more information, then it's like that old information you were given gets lost. It kind of gets swept under the carpet. And I've seen this a lot with people that I read for, that they want to come back every week and get more information about what's going on with this relationship. And I've often said, look, you need to wait 3 or 4 weeks. Don't come back to me, please, because, and you know, I don't want your money, because I want you to go away and learn this lesson and heal and journal and work through it and reflect, and then we can go to the next level. So it's exactly the same with your regressions and with your meditations. Whatever, if you do the guardian meditation and you get some beautiful insights and wisdom from your angels and guides, then take that, sit with it for a week or 2, journal it. What does this mean? And then move on to doing it again. So I hope that's helped, my loves, with that. Julie, Sal, I've gotten some oracle cards you've recommended, and when they came in, I played with them, slept with them under my pillow, kept them next to me, and I don't feel connected with them. Any suggestions? Look, this can happen. My beautiful sister gifted me Doreen Virtue's past life oracle card decks a couple of years ago, and I've used them about 3 times. I just don't connect with them, and so I just don't use them. So that happens sometimes, like, because if I'm suggesting something to you, it's because I've connected with it. So it might not be your connection card. So what I would do, Julie, if you've tried all that and you still don't feel really great about them, then I would just gift them to someone else. Like, clear the energy and tell the person that you're giving them to that you're just going to gift them to someone else, and just keep putting your energy out there to find the perfect deck that you will resonate with. Because as I said, like, people have given me recommendations before and said, oh, I love this deck so much, and I've pulled it out and gone, it's not really doing it for me, my readings don't feel that great. So yeah, that can happen. So don't worry, just maybe pass it forward and gift it to someone else. You need to hear that, Brandy. Awesome. Thank you. Melissa, very good info. Thank you. Just finished the past life regression course. Perfect. Awesome. What does it mean when, oh, Angela, what does it mean when a spirit follows you home? Now, this is a very good question. And actually, I was going to write this down as another question and I forgot. So thank you, Angela. So look, basically, if you're opening up to the light and letting a lot in, and especially if you're very gifted, and the veil between you and the spirit world is quite thin, then spirits can attach themselves to you. So I remember the wonderful Alison Mauer, who is a member of this group, and she's an amazing medium. I remember giving an interview with her where she talked about how she used to go to the mall and they would just come out to play. Like, they'd be, you know, she could feel them on people and see them on people walking around the mall, and they'd just jump on her. And she'd be like, no, 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 no. So what it means is often that spirit, now if it's someone that you're connected to, if it's someone who has lived on the planet before and they're now deceased, it could mean that, you know, you might need to do a mediumship session with someone to find out what it is they want. Or it could be someone else's, you know, deceased spirit that's come with you. If that's happened, I'd like to do lots and lots of smudging. I like to work with pyrite and black tourmaline. I ask my angels to protect me. I say to go to God's light, go to God's light, go to God's light. And I say to them, look, is there something you need to connect to me? Is there something I need to know? And I need boundaries here. Like, please only communicate to me what I can handle, and work with that. So that can, as I said, it doesn't always mean necessarily that you need to do something to help them. It might just be that they've jumped on you because they've seen all the light around you. So it could be a number of different things. But if you are really worried, I'd definitely go and see a professional medium, and they might be able to look a bit deeper to see what's going on for you. Julie, such a lovely idea. Awesome. Now, so someone, and I'm so sorry, I've forgotten the lovely lady who posted this, but I said I would answer it. She said that a very famous psychic had mentioned to her that there's no such thing as dark entities, and that it's just ego. Now, this is actually quite interesting. And when I got this, I thought, yeah, that's interesting. And I always get fascinated by other people's opinions. I never want to invalidate anyone else's experience of the psychic realm, because that's their experience. And it's going to be very different to mine. And you will often see that I say things and you're like, what does Sal say that? No one else says that, or someone else says that differently. And again, that's, you roll with it and you just be curious and go, what works for me? That's how I kind of feel like I deal with other people's opinions. So I think ego and entities are very closely related. So for me, I feel like on some levels that psychic's quite correct in the way that ego speaks the loudest when entities come in, for me, if that makes sense. So I feel like the voice of ego that's telling you fearful things, or that's telling you that person shouldn't have said that, they're getting away with that, how dare they treat me that way, or, that gets angry or gets resentful or gets bitter or is judgmental. I feel like that voice is the loudest when there are negative entities around. And I'll go into a little bit about that, how that works for me. So someone who I know who's connected quite closely to my partner, I can actually energetically feel when that person is psychically attacking me. And what happens is, and this takes a lot of practice. Don't freak out if you can't do this right away. And I felt it more and more the more and more readings I was doing. So I might suddenly have, and I call it sleeping with a toad on my third eye. This sounds random, but that's how it feels. So some nights I'll wake up the next morning and I feel like a toad has squatted on my third eye, and it's like my head feels heavy. I'm a bit disorientated. I'm finding it hard to get into my positive mood. I'm finding it hard to find that grace in my heart, and everything feels negative, and I'm icky and irritable. And I feel like I've had no sleep, even though I might have had a decent night's sleep. And what I realized over the years is, this person in particular, they've been thinking negative thoughts about me. And that's come into me while I've been sleeping, when I'm vulnerable, and now it's kind of squatted on my head. And so what I do is I clap 3 times and I ask the thought to go away. I send that person a lot of love. I get my beautiful crystals out. I might go for a big walk in nature and sit under a tree and ask the tree to just release that from my auric field. And that way I'm not engaging. I'm recognizing it, and I'm taking space, and I'm going, oh, I see that now. So that to me is a little bit how dark entities work. And for me, and for someone to say there is no dark entities, again, I can kind of respect that that's their view. But in my experience, and I'll talk to you about this house I lived in last year, it was just bizarre. Like, there was this one little room in the house. It was like a little sunroom, and every time I walked in there, I'd get this, and I'm like, what is wrong with that room? I just wouldn't want to hang out there. And my husband loved the room, but for me, and I remember saying to him, look, I think there's something in there. There's something in that room. Something bad's happened in that room. I just don't like going in there. And then, obviously you doubt yourself, and even I doubt myself, and I was a bit like, well, why do I feel it and he doesn't, and da-da-da-da. My beautiful cleaner, who I adore, she's quite intuitive. She came around one day and we were just chatting, and she stepped into that room and she just bolted out. And she went, there's something wrong with that room. And I said, I know. And I said, don't worry, you don't have to clean in there. My husband can do it. I don't know what's wrong with that room. And she said this, she goes, there's something really wrong with that room. And so, that to me, if the two of us felt exactly the same about the whole room out of all the rooms in my house, then for me, that's a little bit of evidence that there are dark entities. So that's, I guess, my only way of referring to dark entities, that they do involve ego, but also I think they actually do exist on some levels. But I respect it when people say that they don't believe that. So I hope that's cleared that up for the lovely lady who asked that question. Now, the next thing I'm going to, Courtney, you've been seeing Lynn, you love the ethics. Oh, sorry, Julie, you love the ethics in my courses. Thank you for making them. It is a pleasure, my love. Thank you. Thank you for commenting. Lynette, pretty cool. The information is reinforcing. Courtney, I've been seeing coloured light out of my peripheral. The most recent was a pinky red colour. Is that an angel or an aura? I think for me, that's usually angelic. That's usually like a flash of just an angelic spirit or an energy with me. But I might not be the right person to ask because, as I've said frequently, I don't see auras that clearly. I see auras accidentally. They don't come to me. It's not one of my gifts. So it might be an aura. So maybe ask a psychic who reads auras because it might be. But for me, when I see those flashes, I feel like it's an angelic energy. Maureen, if I'm having trouble connecting with my guides, is there a way to have them through clearer? Look, I'm not sure if you've done my psychic readings intermediate level, but I go into that a lot more in that. Look, always for me, the basics are definitely practice meditating, practice visualizing for like 1 minute. Make sure that you're tapping. Like for me, my course on how to boost your psychic gifts with EFT tapping helps a lot of people because it relieves the anxiety. Like if you're tapping to say, I don't believe this, it's all rubbish, I'm really struggling, I've tried everything, nothing works. What happens is you're releasing the anxiety about the angels and the guides coming through. So if you haven't done that one either, I do suggest trying it, and I do suggest being persistent. And if you've done that course, Boost Your Psychic Gifts with EFT tapping, if you've tried my meditations, if you've done everything and you're still getting nothing, then that's what I call probably it might be time to see a healer, because there could be something that's going way on for you on a personal level that only a spiritual healer can see and find and clear for you. So there could be just a massive thing on your third eye, and it could be anything really. So as I said, there could be like in that course, Psychic Readings Intermediate level, I think I identify something like 28 blockages of why we can't connect with our psychic gifts. So go in and look at that if you haven't already, but if it's still a struggle for you, then it might be time to see a healer. And that just means that it's okay. It just means that your journey is going to be a little bit tougher in that area than other people. So don't worry. It just means that you might need to see someone professionally. And also remember, sorry, Maureen, I'll just add, the way you connect with guides might be totally different. Like you might be someone who only really connects strongly with your guides through cards. So it might be, and there's nothing wrong with that. I have worked with so many, I'm going to share some beautiful cards with you. I've worked with so many psychics over the years, and some of them only connect through cards. Like they go through the card and they pull out cards, and they don't do any kind of channeling or connecting. They just use cards. So that might be your gift. So please don't fret or worry if you're not connecting by closing your eyes and having a big blue angel come in behind you and share the spiritual wisdom of the universe. You might be someone that connects in a different way, and it might just take a little bit of persistence and patience. That's all. So I hope that helps, my love. Nikki, makes sense. Thank you. Christy, I'm smelling cigarettes right now, but no one smokes in my house. Oh, wow. Now, that can often be, yes, definitely. That could be like a grandfather, or it could be someone who is deceased who used to smoke, and that could be their little connection. People often do that with deceased spirits that are with them. They can often smell their perfume or their favourite flower or their favourite meal that they used to bake and stuff like that. So that could be definitely someone with you that used to smoke. And you've been hearing different pitch noises in my ears. High pitch on the right, low pitch on the left. That's interesting. That is really interesting. So for me, the right is often the masculine and the left is the feminine. So I don't know if there's anything to read more in that, but look, yeah, definitely any kind of unusual shifts and changes in your hearing often means that your clairaudience is stepping up. Again, it's nothing to be afraid of. It just means that Spirit's basically sending you the message that, okay, I'm stepping up now. And so for me, I get that too, but I also get little tingles and rubs and itchiness on my third eye. And that's often a big sign that, okay, stuff's coming or stuff has come in that's actually correct. So I used to get it in readings where suddenly my third eye would start itching like crazy, and it was extra confirmation and verification that what I was saying was particularly applicable to the person I was reading for. Maureen, I've signed up for that. Awesome. You meditate frequently. I know there was something in a past life. Dunking and burning as a witch. Oh, honey, I so understand where you come from with that. Like, when I do that regression in remove psychic blocks with past life therapy, that was the regression that I channeled through on myself, because when I first got started, and it seemed to happen more weirdly with the tarot, like there was like this story going on with the tarot for me, and I had to push through it, because it was like there was a lot of darkness there. And I went through some past lives about why that was. I healed that stuff, and it really started to bring in much more softness and grace around using my psychic gifts. And I can also remember one past life thing I did about this particular guy who was like a priest that really harmed me in another life, and how it was almost like this self-sabotage that was going on in my business was really strongly connected with this guy. And I had to kind of go in and clear that lifetime with him so that I could open up space for not going into a bit of wobble space whenever that person was around, and get clearer with my business. So that can definitely be a part of it as well. The cards are strong. Also, so your mediumship's strong and your angels too. That's amazing. Yeah, like, so that just might be your gift, and that's amazing. Like, some people find that they're better off working just with channeling and not with cards. So please don't, feel worried about that at all. Awesome. Thank you, Maureen. Awesome. Okay, so now before I go, I'd just like to say a couple of words too about some etiquette in the group. And I have mentioned this before, but I know we're constantly getting new members. And this is actually based on an incident that recently happened in Tarot Mastery, which is my other course that's other group that's connected with Tarot Card Success. But it does happen a little bit in this group too. So I wanted to just address it a little bit to help you all have a more comfortable experience when you are in this group and you're looking at giving readings and getting readings. Now, the first thing I want to say is that I know last year this was happening a bit too, that people who offer free readings in this group, if you're taking up a free reading, then please honour that person. Like, please honour them by giving them some feedback, giving them, like going to their Facebook page and liking their Facebook page and honouring them for the gift that they're giving you. Because I know that it happens in this group, it happens in Tarot Mastery, it happens in lots of groups, that people get so excited about free readings and they jump on and then they just disappear and they don't follow up on supporting that person that's given them the free reading. Now, I don't want to judge anyone or be critical here, but please treat this space as a place where everybody feels supported and that their gifts are honoured. Please don't just jump in here and take free readings from people. Like, I really, like, for me, and I don't want to get tough love here, but if I see it happening too much, then eventually I'm going to completely wipe out free readings, and I'm just going to say, I'm sorry guys, we're just going to only do exchanges. Anyone who wants to offer a free reading here, I'm sorry, I'm not going to allow space for that, because I do get a bit heartbroken when I see people jumping in and just taking and not giving back. Like, that to me is really not great behaviour. So please continue to honour the group. If you take a free reading from someone, please do anything you can to support that person. Like, get back. Now I want to add something else, and this is for the people who are giving away free readings. I just want to add, be really specific in, I know what it's like, you jump in, you're excited, you want to share your gifts. Be really specific in your post and say, I need feedback within 3 days. And if you can't do this, please don't agree to do the free reading. Or I will get back to you with a reading within 3 days or 5 days or 7 days. So be specific. So, because what happens on Facebook is we don't know each other as friends. So, we all think something differently. Like, misunderstandings can happen. So say, for example, someone jumps in and says, I'm giving away 5 free readings. And everyone jumps out. Now, it might turn out that person giving those 5 readings, they're working full time, they're trying to practice their gifts, and it might take them 2 or 3 weeks to get to those readings. But if they haven't communicated that, then people who have signed up for the free reading feel like, well, that person just disappeared, and they get confused. And that can lead to misunderstandings. So please be really specific and write as much information as you can about what you want out of the posting. If you want people to give you feedback, when you want that feedback to come back to you. And I'll say something else. If you jump in, you say, like, I'm going to give away 20 free readings, you're not going to get 20 free feedbacks back. You just won't. Like, I wish I could say you would, but always there's going to be people that won't get back to you. They're busy, or they're just not very respectful. And I'm sorry, I don't like to say that, but some people just jump in and then, they forget about it. I will also say, now, for those, I do allow people in this group to post in exchange and do a free reading in exchange for a testimonial. I have to add to this. It's not something I'm a big fan of. And the reason is because what happens if you give someone a reading and it doesn't resonate with them? Like, of course, they're not going to be able to give you a testimonial. And so what I would prefer you to do is to ask for feedback. And if the feedback resonates and it's good feedback, then ask for the testimonial. Now, again, I'm not going to say I'm banning testimonials, like absolutely, but please understand that just because you've said I'll give a free reading in exchange for a testimonial, it doesn't mean you can force someone to give you a testimonial. Like, you just can't. Like, it's a little bit like if someone said, okay, I'm going to give you a free voucher to a restaurant, and you go to the restaurant and you don't have a very good experience, and they say in exchange for a review on TripAdvisor, then, you know, you can't really expect that person to run off and do that, to put a positive review when they didn't have a great experience. Now, I will also add, for those of you who are accepting free readings in exchange for a testimonial, please be realistic about what somebody who is in a group and who is often a nervous beginner can deliver you in a free readings. Like, free readings really are just a taster. Like, you can't really expect somebody who's giving you a free reading to give you a 1 hour amazing in-depth about it, because that's a $100 reading. You know, like, that's not a free reading. Like, it's just a taster. So please be generous in spirit when someone gives you a free reading. Like, if it's just a simple little 3-card reading and it gives you a little bit of insight, then great. That's it. It's you know, it's only meant to be a 15, 20-minute thing. It's not meant to be a full paid 1 hour reading. So and again, like I do, as if you're a reader and you're offering freebies, I'd put that in it. So look, it's just a quick 15-minute 3-card spread. Like, be really specific about what it is. Don't feel like you have to give away 1 hour readings. Like, I really actually advise that you're not doing that. So I hope that helps a little bit with clearing up that communication. As I said, like, free readings on Facebook can turn a little bit messy. And that's only because we don't all know each other in person and we don't know where we're all operating from. If you can put as much communication as possible in your post about what you expect from the person you're giving the free reading to, then you're going to get the best possible result. If people don't get back to you, then just, you know, don't feel like, oh my God, I'm a bad reader. It could be that they're busy. Sometimes people don't get into Facebook every day. But I will also add, if you've had a free reading from someone and you haven't got back to someone, please think about that. Like, think, you know, they gave me this amazing gift. I can spend 3 minutes writing them a testimonial. So, you know, let's all support each other here with a bit of love. Let's treat each other how we want to be treated. Like, that's my only thing about that. Now, you might notice I'm stalking a lot of you in here when you are posting. Sorry, it's about 87% humidity here. That's why my hair's gone crazy. You might notice that I have been really identifying people's posts and commenting, please put PM. Now, that's the thing that people do, that they make the biggest mistake when they put it in, they post, I'm giving a free reading or I want to exchange. Please remember to post, please PM me. And the reason that is, and I think maybe if I explain the reason, people might be encouraged to do it more or remember to do it. I don't want your personal information and the personal questions you're asking about your life to be exposed to 3,000 people, okay? That's really not okay with me. And you might think, oh, it's okay, it's just members of this group, but you don't know the people in this group. Like, they've just done my course. And I like to think I'm attracting the most people with a positive high vibe. But if you're putting something really vulnerable, like, you know, like about your partner and divorce or whatever, like that's almost becoming public information. So PM me. Like, if the reader, please write, I'm going to give three free readings, or I want to exchange 3 readings, please PM me. Like, that's saying, okay, this is going to be a personal, confidential thing between the two of us. Now, some people have mentioned they don't like PMing. They don't like it. That means their inbox gets 50. They don't like that. Then I'm happy for you to put your email address in the post. Say, just post at, you know, jane@janeroberts.com and, you know, just email me if you would like a free reading. And that way you don't have to deal with PMing. But please don't ask people to comment below. Please, I'm asking you not to do that, because it's really not great to have all that personal information, and it also clogs up the feed. Like, some people aren't in here just to see who's signing up for your free readings. Some people are in here to share resources and to ask information about the course. So just keep that in mind. Thank you, my loves. So have we got any more questions? Now, Tarot. Oh, Maureen, tarot is horrible for me. Oh, that's interesting. See, again, we all have things that block us. I love that. Lynn, you get ringing in the ears and you wake up to triple digits. Okay, so triple digits, you can actually just look that up on Google. So if you're getting like 333, type that in and it will share with you what those mean. They're usually angel numbers. That's double the confirmation. So yeah, definitely that's easily solved, that one. And the ringing in the ears, just keep asking your angels. Say, angels, why am I getting this ringing in my ears? What's going on here? You know, why does it keep? But it does sound like your clairaudience is really getting up-leveled. And just notice it if it's getting louder, if you're doing certain activities or certain things are going on. So I hope that's helped everyone, my loves. So as I said, I'm going to be popping in here once a month and answering your questions. If I'm not live anymore, feel free to still write the question. I'll jump back in and answer it. Now, if you don't like Facebook or you're not on Facebook all the time, this video will be converted into an MP4 and it will be sent to you through your Udemy educational, educational announcements. So just make sure you've got that turned on if you know that you're not really someone who pops on Facebook very much. Thank you so much for joining me. Leanne, oh good, I've got this at last minute. Is there any way I can tell what the different tingles mean? I often get one across my shoulder blades. Oh. Shoulder blades for me are all about the angel wings. So to me, that suggests that your angel wings are growing, that they're blossoming. So sometimes when I do healings or readings for people afterwards, at the end of the session, I can feel that their angel wings are just unfurling and opening up. So that means for me that your angels are with you even more and that your connection to your angels is being elevated, that it feels like anything that's been really squashing you in the past in opening up this side of yourself is actually opening up and expanding now. So that's a positive. That's a really gorgeous tingle. I love it. And I love heart that right now. Awesome. Okay, thank you, my loves, and thank you for joining me. And as I said, if you've got any other questions, just pop them here. And I will see you next month in the How to Be Psychic course. Bye.